Both look to be very potential filled. What's your take on the first?
Yes, Andrew, their first run was a couple of weeks back at the Vaal. These are two horses we purchased from the Magic Millions last year in January. The fillies that haven't pushed, I've just let them come on their own. It was a good educational run for them last time. With a natural improvement, we're expecting them to be right there. Obviously, there's a lot of first-timers now. You never know with juveniles. Some of these guys come with their horses so well tried that you really have to stand up and pay attention. But their work's been good. They're in good shape, and I'm expecting a good run from both of them.
Number 4 is Fan in race number 2. Gavin Larena climbs aboard, and the improvement from the first run to the second run was dramatic, and third run should be absolutely spot on.
Yes, Andrew, he would be a big runner in that field. Obviously, Michael de Kock has a fantastically well-bred horse, thereby more than ready. Mark de Kock, you always have to respect that stable, powerful stable. They've got a lot of horses to try their horses with. But this horse, on his first run, when we got him to the course, we thought he'd run a reasonable race that night. And he got there, and it was as if he'd never been worked. He was like lost, stage fright. Took him to the Vaal the other day, very, very unlucky. Just got collared short of the post. More or less wandering in the race. So we've popped small blinkers on him just to make him focus better. He's in good shape, worked well. Gavin was very pleased with his work this morning. So we're expecting a decent sort of run from him.
Okay, then you've got to wait almost the whole day until high stakes runs with 3 consecutive seconds under the belt. You expressed off air just a small measure of concern about the trip, but he's definitely going to be very fit.
Yeah, he's an extremely fit horse, Andrew. Little worried about the 2000. I'd probably be happier with it over a mile or 1800, but the race has come up. He was there. It didn't look like the strongest field in town, so we've taken our chances. But he's competing very, very seriously with Brooks Club for the second box, and I hope he doesn't fall into that mould.
Starting off with the first leg of the pick six, 2 high-quality runners. A horse that's got great group form, and a horse that we're just going to have to draw a line straight through his Cape form in Master Sabina. Let's start with Robbie Frad's ride, Master Sabina.
Yeah, he was never right in Cape Town, Andrew. The horses went there. We thought we got them there nice and early, that whatever was going around, the horses are always going to get affected by it somehow. We thought they'd possibly get it and get over it in time for the races, but he was never quite right, and we had hemoconcentration issues with him. We think we're most of the way there with him now to get him back again. I'm going to play him down a little bit, because when you come off such a poor run, then you obviously you're doubting. But he did a pretty smart grass gallop here at Reinke's, and he'll be fit enough, just fit enough. He needs to return to his proper form though, and only the race will tell us that.
Selena, of course, we know he's a high-class individual. He ran a fantastic race in the Sansui Summer Cup, and his form is pretty solid. And you seem to have got on top of a horse that seemed to be a little bit unpredictable as a consequence of not being gelded.
Yeah, I think so, and he's also had his hemoconcentration issues as well. Plus he's a horse with a very, very, we're going to call it an irritable back. But I think we're pretty much on top of it. He's working beautifully, and he is fit. He comes off a win, so I think he's going to be pretty much top of his game.
Love Vivian in race number 5. The last time you ran her, you had many scratchings, but she didn't run a bad race at all. A very useful third.
She ran a nice race in, I thought, a competitive race. Prior to that, she won I thought, a particularly good race on the Standside track. So, we bumped her up in class here, and she's under sufferance. She's a little bit under sufferance, and fortunately, though, well drawn. I think with these fillies that look like they've got prospects at stud, then you've got to go for the black type. Handicap, 4-year-old, bottom weight, that's probably your best bet. So we're giving it a tilt, and we'll see how she goes. But she's matched some very good fillies at this weight, and I see no reason why she shouldn't match them again. It'll be hard for her to win, but if she can just sneak into a place, that's a big deal for breeding.
Then Mr. Consistent, Kahala Castle, he has been an absolute revelation since the gelding. This little son of Churchill Downs, he's a really a sort of horse that you can rely on these days.
I think so. We love him. He's like you say, he's Mr. Consistent nowadays. He's desperately unlucky not to have won a feature race already. But he takes on some good horses all the time, and he went down a short head to Selena last time, over 18. I mean, it's crazy now. We wondered if he'd get the trip of the Sansui Summer Cup, and he clearly did. I mean, he'd run fifth if he didn't get the trip.
Yeah.
And now we're running him over 1400. It might look a little strange, but he's incredibly versatile, and his 1400 meter form on sand is exceptional. He was coming through them like a knife through butter there. So in a small field, from a good draw, a very, very competitive race. I think Pomodoro, if he's right, is the class horse of the race.
Sure.
But, we're there just to compete, and, with him, with his style of running, he'll probably be laying at the back somewhere. I just hope he finds that finish. If he does, he's a runner.
Okay, then AZZIE Pink, far from disgraced last time out. She's running with Not Sulking, whose finishing time with a hefty burden on her back last time out was nothing short of spectacular.
Yeah, they're both very, very nice fillies. Obviously, the gamble with AZZIE Pink, does she get a mile? She did try it once in Durban, but it didn't go for her at all that day. She was drawn wide, trapped wide, and fell out of it late. But Gunther Roggeman rode her last time, and he said, this filly will get a mile if you ride her stone cold. Well, fortunately, she's got a good draw. She's got her old favourite jockey back on, Robbie, and I think he's just going to try and park her off in the middle of the field, make her drop the bit, and hope that she delivers that turn of foot that she does possess. She's bred for a mile, certainly. She's out of a Galileo mare, and we're basically experimenting, but she's got the class, we know that. And obviously with Not Sulking, now she's up in class, so it's a big test for her. Made a little easier, I think, with the scratching of Close the Gap, because she looked like pretty much the one to beat there. I think Athena's a very good runner, though she's badly drawn. Yeah, it's a very, very competitive race, even still. So I really, I'm not going to pick between our two. I do think that Not Sulking will definitely get the mile. The way she finished in the 1400 of her last win was spectacular, I thought. And she's going great at home. She really is working beautifully, and she's got I think she's a black type filly waiting to happen. That's how we see it.
Right, and you've got three very interesting runners in Louis the King, Shadow of His Smile, and TJR in the Colt Skinnies, which is highly competitive. And of course, there's no doubt that Alec Laird looks like the man that's holding a lot of the aces.
I think it's a hugely competitive race, and having said that, I like our horses too. They're very, very smart colts. We've all seen what good horses look like, and these three are good horses. So we've got the benefit of a good draw with pretty much each of them. So that's a big help. And I'm not going to try and choose between them. They've all shown. Louis the King's done absolutely nothing wrong. I mean, 3 wins and a second from 4 outings, and the mile will be. I think he'll relish that. I really do. And Robbie knows him well, so he'll just park him off, give him a chance, and be running at them. That's his style. I think the same with TJR. He's got a lovely draw, good rider in Sean Cormack, and he was desperately unlucky, I think, not to win his last race. It was only a novice plate, but it was a highly competitive one. And I think that from a good draw, he'll be running at them too. If he'd won that other race, I mean, his rating would probably have gone up by 6 points. And he was unlucky not to win it. So you could pretty much say he's sort of close to a 90, rated 90 already, just off the 3 starts. So he's a very good horse, so we won't ignore him. And Shadow, well, we're gambling again, distance-wise. Does he get the mile? We'll see. But I'm going to ask Bernard to ride him stone cold. And he's been gelded. He is fit. And he's been working out of his skin. But, work is one thing and racing's another.